tick it, move ahead. Suppose if you have a second question and you don't have any idea about the second question, so don't waste your time to reread such kind of question. Don't try to attempt those questions. And when you read those questions, you will say, okay, I heard somewhere, I think this could be the answer. No, I think this is blind guess. Okay, do not use that. So when you see a question about which you might be blank because of the lack of revision, I would say, because of lack of practice, I would say, you have to make this mark. Okay, and then suppose you have this question as a third option. So what you can do, that now this question I can do, but I have a doubt, so you can mark this question in this. Okay, after 1 hour, suppose you have to take this particular aspect with respect to the 100 of question, and then you have to count that how many rights are there and how many circles are there, or let's say at least first count rights, that how many tick are there, how many right ticks are there. Suppose you have 40 questions, you have 40 questions on which you have put this tick mark. Suppose 40, and let's say your accuracy is 100%, suppose, so you will be 80 marks, your selection is not possible. In that case, you have to take risk in these set of questions. You have to see that how many questions I have marked for review. If you don't attempt these questions, you are not selected. If you are attempting these questions, you might select. Your chances are there, at least. Here the chances are not there, and there is no hope. Here you have a chances, and yes, you have a hope here. In this way, you can just have a better strategies to solve paper. With this strategy, you will never fetch marks. This is the way to get a maximize marks. This is the way to solve question. Your question will be always solved based on your learning, based on your knowledge, based on your revision, based on your test series, based on your practice, based on your, we can say, answer, or let's say for mains, if we talk about your answer writing skills. Based on that, you will get number first of all. This is just a strategy. Okay, we have a force, but when we have a better strategy to use that force, that will be a multiplier effect. So here you will have a same thing. Force is your knowledge. You have to learn, you have to revise, you have to practice. And when you guide that force to have a multiplier effect, this is what the strategy which you can use in order to have a sure sort selection specifically. So my purpose to fit this question is, I hope you got to know that how to make a risk develop, or how to make a risk appetite, how to make a calculated risk, and when to solve these kind of questions. You have actually solved around 48 questions. So you might get 96 questions. I mean 96 marks. For example, I'm telling. Okay. Now you are close to the cutoff. Okay. Sometimes the cutoff is 80, sometimes the cutoff is 84, but let's say that you are close to the cutoff. And what happened if cutoff will be 97? And if you solve these kind of question, even by a 1 mark, you can qualify. So that's why you have to take risk, but calculated. When calculated, you have to calculate it in this way, that how many ticks, how many right marks are there, and how many for review. If you have a proper maths plus minus, then you can go for it, otherwise leave it. Okay, suppose if you have a 50 questions, which are actually tagged for this, now you will say I will get 100 marks, and suppose the last year cutoff was 80 marks. I'm sure, and you are also agree, that nobody will have 100% accuracy. In examination hall, when we used to see that I have corrected 100 question, when you just step out the classroom, your 5 questions will be striked out. If you strike out, if you stepped out from the center, more 5 questions will be wiped out. I mean, they might be wrong. And when you see the review, when you discuss it with your friends, then yes, more 5 questions will be wrong. So accuracy is not 100% always. So I'm just taking as a case that there might be 20 marks which is actually being left here, or let's say 10 questions are actually incorrect. When it will be happen? When you have at least 3-4 revision, then only this condition will be happen, otherwise it won't happen. Okay, so here still you are in the race. So when you are in the race, you have to take these kind of risk just to have a selection. If you don't take this risk, your selection was not certain. If you take this risk, you might be selected. Might be, I'm saying. Surety, I'm not saying with the surety. You might be selected. Okay. So this is how you can go with these set of questions. Moving ahead. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 was the answer of that question. And yes, in the atmosphere, you will get to know that because of the electromagnetic radiation, we'll also have a dynamic nature of our Earth's surface. Now, the next question is with respect to the fluvial landforms, with respect to the application of fluvial landforms. I hope you remember. Now, this question is just have some sort of application manner. Now, the UPSC has asked that when you moved in Himalayas, you will see the following. If you are in Himalayas, I hope you remember this particular topography. So if there is an action of water, what landforms will be there? So which of the above can be said the evidences for the Himalayas being young fold mountains? So here we have a landforms aspect and we have an aspect of what? Plate tectonics. Both are combined together, and based on these the question have been asked. So if you travel in Himalayas, you will see deep gorges. Yes, you will see deep gorges. You will see U-turn river courses. Certainly you will see U-turn river courses. Parallel mountain ranges. Yes, you will see parallel mountain ranges. And will you see steep gradient causing landsliding? Yes, I hope you remember that this Eurasian plate and this Indian plate, when they collide with each other, there will be a formation of what? Young fold mountains. When we have a young fold mountains will have what? Fast running water if it is there. So that would result it into landslide. So if you see, or if you ever been there in the Himalayas, you might have seen these features, all of these features. So all of them, 1, 2, 3, and 4 are the correct answer of this question. Moving ahead. These are the main questions which have been asked by UPSC based on our geomorphology section. Here you can see the very first question, and this very first question is based on the fjords. How are the fjords formed? Okay, in glacial landforms we discussed about the same. Why do they constitute some of the most picturesque sorry picturesque areas of the world? I hope you remember with respect to the fjords. So we have a best picturesque appearance, we have a best marine biodiversity. Because of that, they are the center of tourism. Okay, you can write down about these aspects. So this is what the how the fjords are formed. This is the geography aspect and how geography can be applied in our human life. So this is all about with this question. Next question is discuss the geophysical characteristics of Circum-Pacific Zone. Simple question. Discuss the geophysical characteristics of Circum-Pacific Zone 2020. During the COVID, this question was asked. Earthquake, volcanism. I hope you can write down trenches. Then next question is a bit older, 2014. Why are the world's fold mountain system located along the margin of continents? Because of the plates. Bring out the association between global distribution of fold mountains, earthquake, and volcanoes. These two questions are by and large same. Okay, though the words are changed in terms of the asking or in terms of the demand of question, but the content would be majoritarily same. And yes, you have to little bit modify the content. So that's all for today. That's all for this particular session, and we have completed this geomorphology section, which is one of the I would say lengthiest module in geography itself. And we have a one more lengthiest module which we're going to start, and that is what the atmosphere. So atmosphere is basically a particular another set of one of the exogenetic factors, you can say. However, we will be discussing about the climatic actions, we will be discussing about the weather, we will be discussing about the impacts, that how the climate and weather will going to impact the human. And yes, in between I'll also connect the climatic features if they are linked with the geomorphology, or they are linked with any set of the concepts or any set of the aspects which we have learned as of now. Till then, take care, study hard. Bye bye.